As Africa's leading defense news portal, DefenceWeb aims to give you the latest updates on African defense, the South African National Defense Force, and the defense industry. Hi folks, welcome to the past week in defense. In this week on the continent, Germany renewed its contract with Airbus for Heron unmanned aerial vehicles in Mali, an African Navy orders 2 Israeli offshore patrol vessels, Nigerian JF-17 fighter jet pilots are training in Pakistan, and a Nigerian Air Force ATR 42 returns home after maintenance in Germany. Peacekeeping operations are set to contract as Africa sees exponential growth of COVID-19 cases. Cameroon's police are operating new armoured personnel carriers. Madagascar is operating Panthera T4 armoured vehicles, and a call has come for South Africa and the Southern African Development Community to assist Mozambique with its insurgency. In South African National Defense Force news, soldiers are still patrolling the Cape Flats. A civilian was shot and killed by a soldier in Mpumalanga. South African soldiers receive UN medals. Military medics are in the Eastern Cape to help the provincial health department. A South African Air Force Oryx comes to the rescue again. A C-130 Hercules is involved in a runway excursion at Air Force Base Ysterplaat, and the Department of Defence's Operation Notlela budget request is slashed by 1.5 billion rand. In company news, the Aerospace, Maritime and Defense Industries Association of South Africa announces a new board, Paramount donates face visors to Gauteng health workers, and Denel puts PMP assets up for sale. In African defense news, Germany's Federal Office of Bundeswehr Equipment, Information Technology and In-Service Support has signed a renewed service contract agreement with Airbus Defence and Space for Heron 1 unmanned aerial vehicle UAV services in operation in Afghanistan and Mali. Airbus on the 9th of July said in Mali, Heron 1 services have been extended for the period August 2020 to July 2021, with an option for August 2021 to July 2022. The system's first flights in Mali dates back to 1st of November 2016, after the first service contract was signed in July 2016. The Heron 1 has logged more than 11,500 flight hours and over 1,200 operational flights in Mali. An unidentified African country has ordered 2 OPV-45 offshore patrol vessels from Israel shipyards. The company announced the agreements on 9th of July, saying the vessels were designed for a wide range of missions, including protection against the increasing threat of piracy in the region, but provided little other detail. In September 2019, it said it had sold 2 OPV-45s, but did not announce the customer. The agreement includes ongoing support and training, as well as the creation of a maintenance program within the framework of the company's integration logistics support services, Israel Shipyard said. Nigerian Air Force pilots and crew for the JF-17 Thunder fighter jet have started their training in Pakistan as Nigeria prepares to take delivery of 3 JF-17s in November. This is according to the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, who was speaking on the 4th of July to personnel of the Air Task Force at the end of a 3-day operational visit to Maiduguri to assess the conduct of counterinsurgency operations. He said that Nigerian Air Force has acquired 22 new aircraft and will be receiving another 16, including 12 Super Tucano attack aircraft, 3 JF-17 Thunder multi-role fighter jets, and an additional Mi-171E helicopter. While JF-17 crews have already started training in Pakistan, Super Tucano crews will soon begin their training. Super Tucano deliveries are scheduled to take place from 2022. The Nigerian Air Force has received an ATR-42 intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance aircraft back from Germany after it underwent maintenance with Rhineland Air Service. The Nigerian Air Force said it took delivery of the aircraft, registration NAF 930, on the 3rd of July. The reactivation of the aircraft, which was successfully executed at the Rhineland Air Services facilities in Germany after clocking 5,000 hours of operation, was earlier scheduled to be completed within 6 months. However, due to the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic, the completion date was extended by 3 months, the Nigerian Air Force said. African Union and United Nations peacekeeping missions in Africa have been slimmed down. Rotations have been frozen and most staff are working remotely due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, and peace operations on the continent may be forced to drastically contract in size and scope, even as conflict and unrest may increase due to the coronavirus. These were some of the key findings of a webinar held in June by the Edgemont Institute with senior researcher Dr. Cedric de Koning from the Peace, Conflict and Development Research Group at the Norwegian Institute of International Affairs. Drawing on extensive research in African peacekeeping, de Koning examined how the COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted peace operations on the continent. Although peacekeeping missions have not reported new or rousing conflict due to COVID-19, financial challenges are likely to occur with the global economic recession that is expected to follow in the wake of the virus. Cameroon's police have taken delivery of at least 6 new armoured personnel carriers, which appear to be Panthera T4s from the United Arab Emirates MSPV. Video recently emerged on social media showing 6 of the vehicles on Cameroon streets, and photos posted on Twitter show a similar number of vehicles in police markings. The vehicles appear to be Panthera T4s, although they are very similar to the Mescal Tigra armoured personnel carrier, also manufactured in the United Arab Emirates. Cameroon received at least 2 Panthera T4s in 2018, with Cameroonian military sources at the time telling Jane's Defense Weekly that the vehicles were for the rapid intervention battalions for use in urban environments. Madagascar's military is operating MSPV Panthera T4 armored vehicles, which were seen for the first time in June. Madagascar celebrated the 60th anniversary of its independence on the 26th of June. During a parade in the capital Antananarivo, the military displayed 6 Panthera T4s. These were later seen patrolling Antananarivo to ensure citizens comply with coronavirus prevention measures. 500 soldiers were deployed to the capital on the 5th of July, along with vehicles and other equipment. It is not clear how many Panthera T4s Madagascar acquired or when they were delivered. The country in June last year officially took delivery of a large quantity of military hardware, including a CN-235 transport aircraft, 3 AS-350 and 1 BK-117 helicopters, 5 Cessna 206 light aircraft, GAZ 4x4 trucks, and all-terrain vehicles. The 3 AS-350s, the BK-117 and CN-235 took part in the parade on 26th of June, with the AS-350s wearing local registrations. A call has come for South Africa as a senior member of the Southern African Development Community (SADC) to take the lead in efforts to end the growing Islamic State threat in Mozambique. Defense and Military Veterans Minister Notlela should urgently engage her counterparts in SADC on this, Democratic Alliance MP Kouros Morea said. His call comes in the wake of an Islamic State of Iraq and Syria newsletter apparently warning South Africa not to become involved in the conflict in the northern part of Mozambique, where work is underway on the exploitation of massive offshore gas fields. Ansar al-Sunnah, identified as a component of Islamic State, is at the helm of the insurgency, which is believed to originate in Malawi and Tanzania. The newsletter, published in Arabic, reports European countries and the US want to convince South Africa to lead the war in Mozambique, concentrated in the Cabo Delgado provinces. Fighting is reportedly taking place under the banner of Ahlu-Sunnah wa Jamaa, an organization linked to Islamic State. Violence in the province started almost 3 years ago, with an escalation in attacks in recent months. To ensure the threat ISIS poses to South Africa, Mozambique, and SADC is dealt with decisively, it is time for all 16 SADC nations to come together, strategize, and collectively find solutions, Morea said, adding he would like to see Mpumalanga reprioritize SA National Defence Force troops currently deployed on South Africa's streets. They would be better deployed in service of the SANDF's constitutional mandate, working towards regional stability and safeguarding our borders, among others, he said. Answering a recent parliamentary question, Mpumalanga warned the Islamist insurgency in northern Mozambique could spread to neighbouring SADC states. This would include South Africa, Malawi, Zimbabwe, and even Eswatini. She confirmed Defense Intelligence (DI) noted an increase in insurgency activities in Mozambique. And in SANDF news, SANDF soldiers assisted police with high-density foot and vehicle patrols in 4 high-gang violence areas of the Cape Flats at the beginning of July. Lavender Hill, Hillview, Village Heights, and Overcome Heights are all considered hotspots areas for COVID-19, as well as other gang violence and gang activities. According to the SANDF, residents were thrilled to see soldiers and police patrolling as they fear for their lives because of gang violence. One said, "I am happy and pleased to see the SANDF in my area. There is calm amongst community members. We can walk to the shops without fear. He added, as soon as soldiers leave, the gang starts shooting again. Police arrested 2 suspects for attempted murder and armed robbery in Lavender Hill. At a bus stop, soldiers found 7 empty cartridges, SANDF social media reported. The National Defence Force has confirmed that a civilian was shot and apparently died at the hands of a soldier in the volatile Bushbuck Ridge area of Mpumalanga. The incident happened at Dingledale Trust in Chaka-Ako village near Acorn Hook on the 4th of July. A SA National Defence Force Joint Operations Division statement said soldiers were accompanying police tasked to disperse community members allegedly meting out mob justice to a suspect. The statement was issued after a number of media reports about the shooting incident in the Ilanzeni district of Bushbuck Ridge. According to one published report, a soldier, part of a group of law enforcement officials attending to the situation involving a violent mob, shot and killed a man apparently wielding a firearm. 800 SA National Defence Force personnel, including 100 women, were presented with UN medals for 12 months service in the UN Stabilization Mission in the Congo as part of the mission's Force Intervention Brigade. A parade ceremony was held on the 1st of July near Beni Airport in Mavivi, North Kivu province in the eastern DRC, with battle group commanders present. The COVID-19 pandemic saw to it that safety protocols, including social distancing and wearing masks, were in place and adhered to by all present. Only selected Force Intervention Brigade members received medals during the medal parade, as it was not possible for all to receive medals. A team of 50+ SA military health service professionals on the Monday, 6th of July, started duties in the Eastern Cape, a province savaged by the coronavirus pandemic and battling what has been called an overwhelmed provincial public health system. The deployment of 12 doctors, 5 clinical associates, and 35 nurses wearing the maroon beret of Surgeon General Lieutenant General Zola Dabula's service follows a request for assistance to national government from Eastern Cape Premier Oscar Mabuyane. The request follows recommendations made by the Provincial Coronavirus Command Council. The Eastern Cape, according to the National Department of Health, is the province with the 3rd highest number of COVID-19 cases. An Oryx helicopter from the SA Air Force's 15 Squadron, based at Air Force Base Durban, has come again to the rescue of a civilian medically evacuating an injured seafarer from a ship off the Durban coastline. 15 Squadron was requested by the Maritime Rescue Coordination Center to rescue a 70-year-old Filipino crewman with a foot injury from the bulk carrier Notlela 5 nautical miles off the Durban coast. The rescue operation was initiated on 6th of July while the motor vessel was in deep sea off the eastern coastline and heading towards her nearest port at Durban. A South African Air Force C-130 Hercules ended up off the runway after landing at Air Force Base Ysterplaat on the morning of Sunday, 5th of July. The 28th Squadron, believed to be serial 405, had just landed in a northerly direction at the Cape Town Air Base and was turning around at the end of the runway in order to taxi to the apron. During the turn, the nose wheel went off the runway, its main wheels creating furrows parallel to the runway. Rain during the previous few days resulted in the ground becoming soft and the wheels sank into the soil. Luckily, the cargo aircraft was not damaged. National Treasury has only granted the Department of Defence R3 billion extra to fight the coronavirus pandemic under Operation Notlela, R1.5 billion less than requested. Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Defence and Military Veterans was at the beginning of July briefed on the impact of the Adjustment National Expenditure Estimate, the budget, on Operation Notlela. The committee heard over 763 million rand of the allocation to the Department of Defence will be used to pay soldiers deployed in support of police tasked to enforce regulations ranging from the ban of sale of cigarettes and tobacco products to inter-provincial travel and ensuring social distancing is adhered to. In company news, the South African Air Force Maritime and Defence Industries Association, AMD, has a new chairman and a new board of directors. The newly appointed board of directors were elected at the recent AMD annual general meeting that was held virtually on the 25th of June. The board of directors met again virtually at the special AMD board meeting, which took place on the 9th of July 2020 to elect a chairperson, committee chairpersons, and other bearers comprising the vice chairperson, honorary secretary, and honorary treasurer. Safale Monsi from Damon Shipyards is the new chairperson, and Kiyobakile Mbololing from MTech is the new vice chairperson. Paramount Group has donated 1,000 face masks to Gauteng's health department as it continues to support health workers on the front lines of the COVID-19 crisis. Paramount on the 7th of July said it is also sponsoring the Gauteng Awards celebrating health workers and organizations that have made a significant contribution to the province's fight against the virus. Denel PMB has put up its casting and rolling plant and cutting and cupping plant up for sale as part of its turnaround strategy. In a tender published on the 30th of June, PMB invited bids to buy its casting and rolling plant and cutting and cupping plant in Pretoria West, which it described as a going concern. Closing date for bids is the 3rd of August 2020. In 2019, Denel announced it was going to dispose some of equity stakes and exit loss-making businesses as part of its turnaround strategy, including Land Mobility Technologies and PMP. In June this year, Denel said it also intends to exit or dispose of Denel S3, Gear Ratio, its properties division, the PMB Foundry, the Aerostructures business, Mechem, Space Tech, Densecure, and Optronics. In a presentation to Parliament on the 3rd of July discussing the 2020 supplementary budget, National Treasury announced planned reforms for state-owned companies, including Denel. It specifically mentioned the dispose of non-core assets like Hensoldt and LMT, obtaining strategic equity partnerships for Denel Dynamics, Denel Land Systems, and Denel PMB, and consolidating Denel Properties with Eskom and Transnet Properties. PMB has also been making losses for several years in a row. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, our daily and weekly newsletter, and our other social media platforms if you enjoyed the webcast. Leave your comments below. Thank you for watching. Stay safe during the lockdown, and we'll see you next week.